What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol AMD for advanced micro devices. On the left-hand side, we are looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. Let's kick this off by mapping out some very obvious areas of support and resistance on our daily time frame. I would certainly argue that this prior pivot high will offer some support should there be any major pullbacks all the way down into that level, remembering that prior resistance then turns to support once broken, and just scrunching this chart up a little bit to see if we can find any more price action that's slightly higher. I'd argue that 98 the whole dollar should also offer a bit of support should we come back down and revisit some of these areas. But all of that being said, this has been a very impressive post-earnings run happening on, of course, really high volume down below as well. So don't expect this volatility and expansion of range to really end until the volume starts to taper off and return back to normal somewhere in this area of just north of 50 million shares per day. So keep that on watch. Now let's talk about some potential pullback areas because, of course, the risk of buying up here towards the all-time highs essentially is greater than waiting for some sort of pullback, using that low as tight risk, stop loss goes underneath, and then of course you retarget that all-time high. So that's kind of the idea that I see here in AMD. Chasing up here at the highs, again, would not be ideal in terms of my own personal risk tolerance. So what areas am I looking at on this chart? Any sort of pullback into prior areas of resistance should be met as some sort of support, remembering that prior resistance, once broken, should turn to support on a retest. So I like 110.20. After that, just walking them down. I really like this area as well. You can see we get multiple lower wicks sort of lining up there at 107.61 and continuing on lower. I would argue this is another critical level simply because we had prior resistance, then offer support, support, and support here with that long-tailed hammer printing off that area. So that's 105.68. So any of these pullbacks, I would be keeping a very close eye on AMD. Do we start to form any sort of reversal candlestick? So hammer candle, any sort of indecision doji, indicating that the sellers might be, losing some momentum after the pullback and the buyers can regain control. Whatever level we pull back to is essentially going to help you determine how healthy and how strong the potential follow through could be. If we just break out the Fibonacci tool to use this as a final piece of confirmation, going from the low end of the move, there we go, all the way up to the highs, we know that we're always traditionally looking for the 38.2 to hold as first support, and it's coinciding very closely with that 105.68 area that we just watched. So ideally, on a more aggressive pullback in AMD, pulling back all the way down to that area should be seen as a bullish move, right? That's going to be healthy for this market. The market needs a little bit of give and take to remain healthy and see continuation and follow through. If it just remains up, 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 usually the pullback is much more aggressive and much nastier in terms of trapping people up at the highs. So that's what I would be watching out for here in AMD. The 38.2 pullback area and 105 looks phenomenal. Anything underneath that, I'd really start to get concerned that we could be headed lower, maybe all the way back down. And by all the way, it's really not that far, but back to this area where this next sort of leg up started from, around 101.50 before returning to 98, the prior all-time high as noted by some of these upper wicks in that area. So if you learned anything new from this video or enjoyed the analysis, let me know down below in the comments section or by simply leaving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out our main channel, linked down below in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.